My mind likes to run away with me. So I don't like waking my wife up when I have moments like this, but you know, when you have pretty severe anxiety attacks, it's not a very fun day. It's I, I'll be panicky about this all day for no reason. It just seems to happen every time I do something like this. I don't know why. Just naturally lucky, I guess. I don't enjoy it. I don't think anybody who has panic attacks enjoy the feeling of it. That nervous energy, that feeling like you're about to have a heart attack. It's not. It's not enjoyable. It's not fun. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that think I'm just overreacting to everyday situations, but it's very well possible I could be. The thing is, though, is when you're in it, it doesn't feel like an overreaction. You just trying to do the best I can with what I've got. Doesn't always work. It's never fun feeling hopeless or helpless. Well, it's not fun feeling helpless either, but that's a topic for a different day. We're talking about panic attacks right now. I don't. This isn't. It's not really something you plan for. Just happens from time to time, and you try to. Ow. Try to make the best of it, I guess. How did I fall down that? There's a door right there. That might have been a mistake. Situations like this, I always kind of feel like I'm my own worst enemy. I understand there's really no reason for the I, healthy nerves is one thing. Healthy nervousness is one thing, but when it becomes crippling, it's then it's something entirely different. I think I could deal with healthy nervousness. That's fine, but when you start getting to the point where you can't breathe and like, I don't get the lovely, oh, I'm nervous and then I do better. It's just, no, I get nervous and then I can't breathe and I get chest pains on top of it. Unfortunately, my fight or flight kicks in. I don't have much flight, so I tend to want to fight something, anything. And that's never healthy. Well, it's healthy, I guess, the fight or flight is, but otherwise we wouldn't have it. But it's not conducive to a normal relationship. I mean, luckily I'm able to turn a lot of it off, so I haven't like attacked anyone or anything, thank God. But like here, I'm trying to talk about panic attacks, and I'm just rambling. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea what the hell I'm saying. I could be talking about Gandhi right now, and I wouldn't know. woke my wife up to talk about stuff, but she hears the same thing every day from me. So she's got to be getting tired of it. Especially because when I get really nervous like this, I stumble over my words. I don't know exactly what to say. You know, there's this stigma with mental health stuff, and you know, yeah, especially in the line of work I was in, you couldn't show weakness, you couldn't show vulnerability, and so you end up just bottling things, which don't ever do. That's not healthy. That's not. It doesn't do any good. You end up. You end up like me. Mine's also compounded by the fact that I don't sleep worth a crap. So, you're always tired. You get maybe 3 hours of sleep, if you're lucky. That's a good night, 3 hours at a time. That's a heyday. Whew. That's big money territory right there. But usually I only sleep like an hour or two at a time. I mean, we can delve into the whys and hows. It's like I said, I am diagnosed with several well, five. I think it's five. I always forget. There's usually one or two I forget. Core issues. I'm sure there's some other ones that just haven't been diagnosed, but my core issues is that I'm a major depressive with suicidal inclinations, which, if you don't know what that means, it means I like to think about suicide a lot. I don't like doing it, it just happens. I don't really have a choice in the matter. There isn't a day goes by that I don't think about hurting myself. The inclinations is... What sucks, though, is when you start having stuff like that, the first thing they ask you, do you have a plan? Well, I'm an overachiever, so I can't... I mean, there's some people out there that, you know, they just think, I'd be better off not here or something like that, you know, and I mean, I have those thoughts too, where I feel like I'm a failure, I'm worthless, I'm not, like, That's why this job's so, part of the reason why this job's so important to me is to feel like I'm contributing to my family again, instead of being the bump on the log that doesn't do anything. But unfortunately, for me, when I have thoughts of I'd be better off not on the planet, my mind doesn't just stop there. My mind goes, well, how would you do it? You should, and that right there is like one of the first questions they ask you if you go to the hospital or something like that, because you're having bad thoughts like that, is, do you have a plan? I always have a plan. I always have 3 or 4 plans. It's that's just how I am. I don't. It's not that I'm trying to work on that, but it's like just sitting here now. I got 4 things on the top of my head. If I really wanted to hurt myself, this is how I do it. My doctor understands that, luckily. So she doesn't get all worked up about it. She just understands that that's just how my mind works. I'm analytical. I can't have a thought without trying to have, I'm a scenario runner. I run, if I was going to do something, if X happens, then Y is my response. Just because that's how I think, it doesn't mean that I'm on the verge of doing anything. That's just how I think. I am very lucky and fortunate that the people closest to me understand that about me. That my doctor understands that about me. Otherwise, I'd never get out of a hospital. I'd still be in one. Hey, Bella. Which mental hospitals suck? What are you doing, Bella? No, Bella, that's not a toy. That's called a microphone. I know you're fascinated by them. Where is that zombie? So that's my first issue, is major depressive with suicidal inclinations. Obviously, I also suffer from anxiety. I am a generalized anxiety disorder. And all that really means is, things bother me more than normal, and it can be crippling. There was a point when, in my life, not so long ago in the grand scheme of things, that even the thought of leaving my house was enough to make me physically ill. I mean, violently physically ill. And I don't know what brought it on. I was never like that. I woke up one day and started getting dressed for work. I was fully dressed, and when it was time to go, I was in the bathroom. For a while, we thought, there was a major medical issue going on. I've had bleeding ulcers in the past, so, naturally my first thought was, oh great, those are coming back. But that wasn't the case. Wasn't the case at all. Uh, I just, I couldn't cope anymore. I also have OCD. I like to have things done a certain way, and it bugs me when they're not. Okay. Like this right here. This, I don't know why, but this is gonna bug me. Oh, okay, no. That's symmetrical. That's fine. I feel bad for my wife. She has to sit up and listen to this garbage a lot. I'm not supposed to go through this stuff alone anymore. That was how I used to do it. I'd sit in the dark by myself, but my mind runs away with me when I do that. So I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Well, I mean, I guess I could, but I think my wife would be mad at me if I did. To OCD. So I have OCD, and I don't have a useful form of OCD where it's like, oh, I need to get the dishes done. No, I have a pretty useless form of OCD that doesn't help me accomplish anything. It just aggravates people. I have PTSD from things I witnessed early in my career when I was very young. And I was very young when I started in my career. I started in my career when I was 18. I was not ready for some of the things that I saw. Although I don't think anybody's ever truly ready for some of the things I've seen. You do your best with it. You try not to let it get to you, but some stuff just sticks with you. It comes back at weird times. It used to never bother me. Like, I know it sounds bad, but I used to joke about the things like that. But that was just one of my coping skills. I didn't have very effective coping skills. So you do what you can just to try to get by, but it makes people think you're callous and mean, and a lot of the time for me it was either laugh or cry. And there wasn't not a lot of middle ground when it comes to that type of stuff. You just you just you know what, fill that in. Was not a lot of middle ground. It's kind of an all or nothing lifestyle. And right now I'm just trying to make this blend in a little bit better. I know it looks atrocious right now, but once I start planting trees on it, it'll look better. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around on topics. This is not something I'm used to talking about. Let's see, I've covered the suicidal stuff, anxiety, OCD. What was I just talking about? Oh, I have a generalized nightmare disorder. That's probably my least favorite of all. I mean, not that any of them are good, but the nightmare disorders, I'd say probably the worst one. For me, I have very vivid dreams that it's sometimes very hard for me to tell the difference between what I just dreamed and reality. So I have very violent dreams about my family, things that I've never done anything to my family, but I always dream that I have. It's to the point where I have to wake my wife up at times and make sure that I haven't done anything to her or my kids. I've woken up from taking a nap and had to call my wife at work to make sure that I hadn't done something violent to her. That one's the hardest for me to cope with. As I'm a little old-fashioned. I think it's a man's job to protect his family. And how do you protect your family when you perceive yourself as the biggest threat to your family? And then that ties into the suicidal thoughts. See, I'm trying to think. Depression, anxiety, PTSD. No, that's all of them. That's it. That's my big five. I really hate talking about the nightmares, though. I always think people are going to judge me. Which, honestly, I don't think I'd blame them if they did. I judge myself a lot on them, and they're my nightmares. You know, I do have a very supportive family who, try to point out that, it's just a dream. You never actually did those things, but doesn't always help. Yes. Who dreams that shit? Excuse my language, but this is a topic that always gets to me. It's who dreams this kind of crap? Okay, that zombie is starting to drive me nuts. Oh. Did you die already? That wasn't even what I was looking for. Oops. I'm so used to... Oh, no, I'm used to that one being the exit. Well, I'll get used to it eventually, but... Smack you with my fish. Where is that zombie? Oh, that noise is driving me nuts. I don't know. I'm luckier than most. In the grand scheme of things, I would say. Like I said, I have my wife and my kids, and they're super supportive, and they really try to take care of me when it comes to this stuff. They know how upsetting this stuff is for me. I mean, I guess it would be upsetting for anybody, but you'd have to be pretty heartless for it not to be upsetting. There's got to be a cave around here. trying to think of. But yeah, so today it's nervousness over my job thing, which I suppose is better than some of the other things I've been nervous about or had issues with. My stuff isn't until 4 this evening, and I'm already ready to go take my shower and get ready. Where is the zombie? That's gonna get old. Well, thanks for listening. I think I'm gonna get off here. Try to get some more sleep, I guess. I'll see you in the next one, and stay shiny.